As the King and I discussed today, the United States is working on a hostage deal between Israel and Hamas, which would bring an immediate and sustained period of calm to Gaza for at least 6 weeks, which we could then take the time to build something more enduring.
Well, Daoud Kuttab is a Middle East analyst and joins us now live from Amman in Jordan. Good to see you, Daoud. So we've seen very much a change of tone in rhetoric from the US President Joe Biden, but yet on the ground, we've just seen the scenes there. Nothing is changing on the ground. That change of tone isn't translating.
You're absolutely right. There is a chasm and a big hole between what is said publicly and what happens on the ground. It's clear that President Biden is not happy with what's happening. He's in elections year, and the pictures of Gaza keep hurting his chances of winning the elections. But at the same time, he is not using the pressure he has. He's the biggest military supplier to Israel, biggest financial supplier to Israel, and he has a veto power in the United Nations Security Council. He has not used all these assets. He's only used a verbal asset, and that's not enough.
And on that very point, Daoud, yesterday, Josep Borrell, he made that very point. He said, enough, stop speaking, use that leverage, stop supplying those weapons. Behind the scenes right now with the King of Jordan and Joe Biden, what do you think is being discussed? Because Jordan hasn't been as active as, say, Qatar or Egypt in mediation right now. But what can Jordan do at this stage?
Well, Jordan, I think, is working on 3 levels. On the one level, they're trying to improve the humanitarian aid flowing into Gaza. Jordan is bringing about 25% of all the trucks going into Gaza. They're flying in and dropping medical supplies. And they're trying to see how they can improve the lives of Palestinians. But at the same time, he's working on the international level, especially with President Biden, to enforce basically ceasefire, or at least end of the killing of civilians. So that's a really important area. And the third issue is, I think that Jordan wants to work with the US and with Israel on the day after. Once the war is over, what kind of a governance will happen in Gaza and the West Bank, and the fact that we need to be on a political level to ensure that there is an independent Palestinian state. So there are 3 levels that Jordan wants to see change happening.
Going back to that point about who does Netanyahu listen to, that was also made by Josep Borrell. Who will he listen to? Because clearly he's not listening to anyone right now.
Well, I think the PA is in a big problem because over 80% of Palestinians want the Palestinian President Abbas to resign. Many are expecting that if there is an exchange of prisoners and our leader in prison, Marwan Barghouti, can be released, he can actually help revive the Palestinian national government. And we need an expanded cabinet, an expanded PLO presence in which people close to Hamas can be involved in the governance of the day after, because we know that Hamas will not disappear. Hamas is a movement, not just military leaders. And once there is the end of the fighting, we need to make sure that the power on the ground is part of the power sharing process.
Daoud, thank you very much indeed. Daoud Kuttab, Middle East analyst, joining us there from Amman, Jordan. Great to have your insights. Thank you for your time too.